and welcome to No Such Thing as a Bad Movie podcast. I'm April Atmansky, and I'm here today with...
Justin DeClue, and I'm howling mad Cunningham.
Oh, I wanted to do the howl.
You did when you started the intro. Me and Colin looked at us and we were like, "She didn't do it. I guess it's ours now."
Yeah, somebody's got to.
So, if in case you haven't noticed, we're doing wolves this week.
Specifically, werewolves.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
My favorite monster? Nah, probably not. But they're cool.
there's
They're pretty
so
cool.
many movies, particularly bad movies, B movies about werewolves.
Why is that?
Why is
I wonder.
that?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
wonder. It's like you feel like that would take the most effort. You've got to build costume and
Do
hair.
you, or do you just need a mask?
Or just a fursuit.
or just horrible CGI.
I think that there's like the duality of the man and the wolf that people actually like, but none of these movies capture that idea at all.
No,
like,
not really.
I'm the real enemy and it's within me.
Yeah.
Unless they're like transforming into a werewolf to be like a badass cop, aka
Wolf Cop?
No, not Wolf Cop. The original Wolf Cop, which was Mario Van Peebles in Full Eclipse.
What?
You never seen that movie?
No.
He
I
grows like
haven't seen
Wolverine
it.
claws.
What?
Yeah, it's a Anthony Hickox film, the director of Waxworks and Waxworks 2, Lost in Time, and also Hellraiser 3.
Oh.
Anyway, it's a DTV film. But that's not what we watched today. We watched...
Len Kabasinski's Curse of the Wolf, which is a movie from, I think it's 2004. Don't quote me on that.
I think it's 2006.
2006. Okay. Yeah. So this is your classic werewolf movie, but it's kind of also a martial arts movie, and it also has a badass gang of bounty hunters. It's got everything, really.
So who is this director, April? Because I had actually never heard about him when you said, hey, let's watch Curse of the Wolf.
So we only heard about Len Kabasinski, as most people probably did, from Red Letter Media, and he does a lot of monster movies. So he's like got a werewolf movie, he's got a vampire movie, he's got a zombie movie, and he also is a martial artist himself. I think he has like 2 black belts or something.
At least.
Yeah, so he always incorporates like cool fight scenes, martial arts stuff in his movies, and it's very, very low budget. I believe it's all shot on video. Most of them can.
You believe?
Most of them
I don't
contain-
know if I can tell if this is film or video.
I haven't seen some of his new
I
movies.
think this was VistaVision.
His new movies actually look pretty good. I looked at some trailers for them.
He's been advertising a lot lately that he's working with Leo Fong
From Low Blow.
Low Blow himself, and many other movies, which is pretty cool. But as far as I can tell, he works with like the same stable of actors a lot, and it's a very kind of homegrown. Like he makes movies where he lives, which I think is Pennsylvania.
I think so.
And I believe that's what he does for a living.
You guys are dodging around why you like his movies, though. Oh, is it because they're packed with action and excitement? Which they are.
Yeah, they are.
Yes.
No, you like them because they look cheap.
Well, there's a charm to them.
And that he has 10 sound effects.
Yeah,
and no
that's
lights.
Yeah, well, I think he has like 14 movies or something, and I've actually only seen 2. I've seen this one and Fist of the Vampire.
What a great title.
Yeah, but they also have like really bad CG effects. But I mean, come on, it has no budget. 2006. There's only so much you could do.
You know, this is the kind of movie that like I read up on it online because I didn't know about it, and everybody's like, it's so bad. Like he can't light anything, and all sorts of stuff like that.
Sound issues.
Yes, bad sound issues. But then when I watched the movie, like he obviously like really likes this stuff. There's some like clever camera work. The editing is usually maybe like a second too slow, but
Yeah.
he's trying. And the fact that it's packed with fight scenes that are fairly repetitive,
But they're shot okay.
But
Not
Yeah,
incompetent, and it's
yeah.
like the people obviously know what they're doing. Like,
Yes.
everybody is very competent. I was surprised at kind of how well edited and shot they were.
This movie has a giant cast. Like, there's so many actors.
There's just
I want to say, Len, please, just 5 people. That's all you need. Just focus stuff up a little bit.
2 different gangs.
it's like the gang of mercenary. It's like the Jets and the Sharks.
Yeah. What is the plot, Colin?
Okay, so it starts out, it's basically about this girl, Dakota. She's our protagonist, and she's a werewolf. And she's part of like I guess a werewolf pack. Then she's trying to leave. She's trying to get out of the life, man. And they won't let her. So it's basically just like, her on the run. And she kind of like comes across a gang of mercenaries for the mob,
She
I
runs
guess.
into them at the bar, and
That's
then
right.
they, for some reason, just decide that they want to protect her.
Yeah, they take a liking to her, and it's basically just like this gang of werewolves versus her and this gang of mercenaries, and lots of karate fights,
Fight
ensue.
scenes.
And boobs.
Lots of boobs.
They went and bought those boobs. 'cause
Yeah,
big
yeah.
old fake boobs.
We
Yeah.
forgot to mention that he usually, I think, always has nudity in his movies, and I believe it's how he gets money and distribution.
Probably.
It's like,
Yeah, you're ticking boxes.
It's violent. It's got martial arts, and it's got nudity.
Listen, I have the internet. I can just type naked boobs into Google and stuff will come up.
The woman. Well, there's two like nude scenes in this, but the
There's
girl,
more than two,
the girl
isn't
who
there?
plays, I think there's. Well, no, let me rephrase that. There's two women who get naked in this movie, and the
April's
one
like, I
that
count that as two.
Yeah, Ivy. She actually is an adult film star. She does softcore pornography, which is cool. And but it's like she takes this bath scene, and that's just it for like 5 minutes, and then
staring
another
at this
character comes in and is like,
I must have been in the bathroom. I don't remember this.
You were in the bathroom.
God damn it! Every time.
Yeah, this nudity scene happening. Colin's like, I need to go to the bathroom, and then it's gonna take me 5 minutes.
It's during the
I was like, oh, I feel so sleepy.
it's during the Lady Tita song.
Oh yeah, I mean this movie has
music.
rockin' songs.
Oh, yeah,
there's
even,
the like Curse of the Wolf, heavy metal, and then there's these weird kind of like folk. I guess how would you explain it?
It was like a Tegan and Sarah kind of like
Lady,
yeah,
and there's more than
Lady
one.
Tita,
Well,
and
there
then
was like a sex scene with like
I'm a little confused.
That was really weird.
But yeah, I was saying that these are clearly like local bands that he knows that are doing the music, for either for free or for really cheap. Because, but better than stock music or no music at all.
Yeah, there's a little more. That's why I kind of like this one. There's a little more effort. I mean, we've seen a lot of shit on
Yes.
this for this podcast,
Or
but-
like people that have no idea what they're doing. Like,
yeah, there's not like a kind of lazy cynicism, I think, to this.
Yes.
There's a level of competence, there's a level of trying, and I don't know, that's sort of charming. And the fact, that he's made this many movies, there's got to be a market for it.
or he's just making them.
He just likes making them.
Banished to the 50 movie DVD packs you find at Walmart.
I think that a lot of his are
on
those
those
most
packs.
Yeah,
Multiple
which I think
packs.
is how Red Letter Media found
I believe it
one of
was,
his,
yeah.
Chris the Wolf.
I mean, this is the kind of movie one of the thing that I liked is that he is trying that hard, and I'll think of like someone will get their head knocked off, and then it'll cut to a special effect that he obviously shot in his garage up against
Yeah.
black,
Yeah.
and like blood is spurting from a
Spraying,
stump. Doesn't quite match, but it's like, oh, you tried. You're trying to give the audience what they want.
Yeah, they had some actually decent practical stuff.
Yeah.
Like some good kills
The
and like some really
costumes.
gory kills.
Those dollar store werewolf masks.
Yeah, and werewolf claws.
I swear there was one of them that looked like a gorilla mask.
Yeah, like, listen, we have 7 of them on screen. It
was just
We just
dark.
gotta focus this up.
But one thing that we haven't mentioned yet, which is really important, is the vanity aspect of this movie. Because Len Kabasinski himself is in the movie, and he plays the baddest of the badasses
Stick.
of the mercenary group, and he has a sex scene, and he's just like the coolest. That being said, though, he's really good at martial arts, so it's like, yeah, put that in your movie because it looks good,
Yeah, he needs somebody to do it. It might as well just be him.
Yeah,
like,
well, I think his whole like school was in it because it said in the credits like thank you to this karate school.
Yeah,
or whatever. Or maybe they
it
just
looked
helped out
like
with
everybody
stunts.
was pretty competent.
Yeah, but
Like,
not all those actors know karate.
I
but-
don't know.
Or maybe
I-
they just got like it was like fight choreography or whatever.
Yeah, who knows?
I feel like Len, if we just like took him to the side and we're like, Len, this is all you got to do, and your movies will be that much better. Like, vary the angles of your fight scenes a little bit.
Yeah,
the choreography's pretty much there, but it's like low, high.
Yeah,
it's like
yeah.
look at this Sammo Hung fight. See how they do it.
But I feel like there was a lot of scenes had good coverage, and then sometimes there was nowhere near enough coverage.
Yeah, it's like I mean, he loves in like dialogue scenes the over-the-shoulder, wide-angle person really close to the frame, person in the background.
Yeah.
Or just a super tight on their face where you can't even see the top or bottom of their
Chin,
head.
Len, give us some chin. And the movie is way too long. It's an hour and 45
Hour 45,
minutes.
yeah. It was kind of these movies. You gotta, you know,
And he didn't
80
edit them. It
minutes.
said another name, and I'm like, come on.
Yeah, you gotta trim them down.
His
And
new movies are 75, 80 minutes. it
That's
looks like.
about-
So
that's-
that's about the
Okay.
time.
that's the time you want for
So
these
that's
types of
something.
movies.
So he's getting better, you know.
I mean, this was made in, like you guys said, the
2006?
mid 2000s.
Yeah.
So I mean, that was a while ago. So maybe
Yeah.
he's learned, and the fact that he's continually making movies is awesome because
Yeah.
good for him. Thanks to that Red Letter Media boost because he did show up on their show, right?
A couple of times, yeah.
Yeah, he's actually come back a few times, and
He's funny.
He seems
Yeah,
like
he's very
he is
funny,
funny,
yeah.
and he
He's-
seems like a good sport and a really just a nice person.
Yeah.
And it's funny because like you hear about all these like Hollywood assholes.
Wait, you think he's a Hollywood
like,
asshole?
like Colin Trevorrow.
Good thing,
No.
good thing Len, Curse of the Werewolf director, is not a Hollywood asshole.
That's what I'm saying. All of these like small timer people who are making movies in their backyards, they're able to keep doing it because they're nice.
And passionate.
Yeah.
And like, well, I'm sure he doesn't pay much, if anything. No, I'm going to say
Yeah.
nothing.
Like, I think
the
he-
people that are in his movies.
Yeah, I think he got some funding, but obviously we're talking low to no
And
budget here.
so, like, if they don't like him, they're not going to appear in his movies.
Yeah,
to get
and
the people coming back.
You can see lots of cast being like
Farley-ish, reoccurring faces.
Yeah. You can see some of the same actors like
His
popping
stock
up in his later
company.
movies. Yeah, that's right.
Too many actors, though. You got to cut that down.
This
I was
is a
watching
big
it, I'm like,
cast.
I'm very confused of who, and like the focus of what's going on. It doesn't really matter.
No, it was getting kind of like I was getting lost at the end, but it didn't really matter. It was just like, all right, whatever.
It just kind of devolves into kind of just random action. But the good guys win at the end.
Do they?
Kind of.
At the end.
Actually, no. All our people that we come to love end up dying.
No, the
Yeah.
lead actor gets killed, and then she wakes up the next morning still alive.
Yeah,
and
that's
her
right.
love interest is just there, and they walk off into the sunset.
Yeah, they want the love interest who she met in a bar. And she's being chased by
Bathroom
she's being chased by the werewolves and ends up like hiding in a men's bathroom and meets this guy. And
Well, I mean, isn't that where you met April?
She's hanging out in the
yeah,
men's bathroom.
no, you were being chased by
She was
werewolves.
a werewolf.
Yeah, but yeah. So then
Curse of the Werewolf
these
is a
two-
real life documentary of April and Colin.
These two become the new mercenary group for this guy who owns a bar.
Yeah,
And that's the end.
Well, it was Logan. He's dead, so she's the new kind of head.
no,
owner.
the old guy lived, didn't he?
Logan?
yeah, he did. The old
Yeah,
guy
he-
did.
Did he?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
the one who shot her when she attacked them.
Oh, that's right.
That they're like, don't shoot her, don't shoot her. He's like, I won't shoot her. And then he turns around and he shoots her.
Shoots her. Yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, and then she like pulls the newspaper down at the end.
Yeah. Not the big reveal I think that Len thought it was going to be.
It was good. I like
So maybe we'll be diving back into the world. I'd like to see one of his newer films. See how
Yeah.
he's evolved. I watched some trailers. They look slicker.
Yeah.
Still love that over-the-shoulder
What's the
shot.
other one? We watched another one, didn't we?
We watched Fist of the Vampire. I don't remember much about it,
Neither
but
do
I mean,
I.
I remember laughing, and I mean, I laugh with love. If Len ever listens to this podcast, I don't know if you said what your favorite.
He has a
thing was,
Patreon.
Colin.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, it's for his new movie.
Yeah, just making movies. It's a monthly price.
Challenge of the Five Gauntlets, or
Something like that.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's called. Because I looked it up. Yeah, it's a
that's
kung
the
fu
Leo
movie.
Fong one.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah, that should be interesting.
Wait,
That kinda-
did you say something that you liked? I thought you did.
did I? I don't think I was asked. Have we even started that yet?
Yeah, I said
Yeah, we
I
did.
liked
We
Len.
passed it.
I
We're long gone. Yeah.
Basically, I just said Len, but there's a certain actor in this movie we also have to talk about.
Which one?
The lead of the werewolf gang.
Oh my God! Yeah, I forget his name, but it's like the he thinks he's doing Shakespeare. This is like
Yeah,
the kind of
Yeah, he's really
only
diving
he's really chewing
the
those.
only person
those
who
words.
talks like that in the whole movie, which
Yeah,
is
it's
really
right.
funny.
He's playing it like he's some like ancient being. You know, he's he got turned into a werewolf like hundreds of years ago. So-
Yeah, it's a choice.
But
Yeah, it's a
nobody else
choice.
in the gang is. including the Franklin, the
Blue Meanie?
Blue Meanie, who's like I guess a wrestler in WWE.
That's your favorite, Colin?
Oh yeah, his intro scene.
Is he like farting? I don't remember.
He's
yeah,
wearing like a shit-stained diaper.
yeah, that's right.
It's like he's wearing tighty whities that have like shit
diaper.
stains. Well, he's used it as a diaper because he's gone poo in them. But it's just like
Wait. Okay. So anything that I wear and I poo in automatically becomes a diaper.
It's a diaper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Colin Cunningham's #1 rule.
whatever. Just put a pin in them. Hey, if you throw them out, anything that
Oh, gross, you shit in your pants. Did I? Did I? And he pulls a pin out, shit in my diaper. You got me there, Cunningham.
Anything that
I
you-
forgot the #1 rule.
anything that you poo in
So if
and
you
throw
shit-
in the garbage is a diaper.
So if you shit in a recycling bin, that's
it doesn't matter. Diapers can be made of
Put a
anything.
pin in it.
Put a safety pin in it.
So wait, were you like... Wait, this makes me think that Colin was like a baby in like the 1910s wearing cloth diapers with pins in them.
Yeah, apparently
like-
some people still use.
It was like
cloth
baby
diapers.
Mr. Burns. I had like the big swirl lollipop.
Yep.
But anyway, that guy who shit in his pants, he's apparently a wrestler in real life.
Yeah, Blue
which is
Meanie.
kinda cool.
I didn't know that, but
Yep,
you know,
never
you
heard
can-
of him.
He's a bigger guy.
I'm not a
so-
big wrestler. Like
You're not a big wrestler.
So
Yeah,
let
you're
me-
making your way up on the circuit.
Let me take that again.
I know you're in the extreme backyard section of wrestling right now, but soon
Maybe like
you won't
a
have to
lightweight.
cut yourself anymore.
Extreme wrestling. Yeah, I throw myself off like
Visual
a,
effects league.
yeah, I wrestle in people's backyards and I throw myself off roofs onto like picnic tables and
Yeah,
stuff.
it's a tack match. Well, you don't like backyard wrestling? You ever seen it? It's really like scary and
someone,
sad.
Like,
It
showed
just-
me a video of it once.
I've seen clips on YouTube, but it makes me sad on the inside.
Yeah, well, they really hurt each other
Oh, yeah,
themselves. 'Cause
yeah.
The thing about wrestling that's fun to watch is that, you know, usually they're professionals and they know how to do this without hurting each other too
this,
badly.
This is just like, let's just cause each other as much pain
pain
as possible.
I once smashed a light tube on someone's back when we were doing
Like a
fake wrestling.
fluorescent tube?
Yes, I
That's
did.
dangerous.
And he was wearing a shirt, but he had a big mark on his back afterwards.
Yeah, that stuff is dangerous. You can't inhale that
There's
powder
a
on the
video
inside.
of that somewhere where I play a wrestler at Eyesore Cinema.
on your
God.
YouTube channel,
years and
probably.
years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
Me and Adam the Riot Sword.
I see a lot of people do that on YouTube, like these idiots, like with
Sorry, Grandpa. We're just
This
gonna
is-
keep going at it. Okay, we're having fun. Let's get back to business. What was your favorite thing about this movie?
Okay, other than the opening theme song, which I think is it's Curse of the World. Now I was talking earlier about the practical effects, and like there's some pretty decent kills, and it's pretty gory. And there was one scene where Franklin, the fat blue meanie, he
Hurtful, Colin.
what?
As opposed to the skinny blue meanie
Well,
for society's norms.
excuse me. He's a werewolf, man. He's a murderer in this film. It doesn't matter. He's coming.
Prisoners should vote, says Colin Cunningham.
Okay, Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, all right. So, gore?
Well, he goes on a killing spree in this park. He catches Dakota's scent at one point, and then he turns into a werewolf, and then he starts killing all these teenage punks in the park, and it's pretty good. They got some really good kills, and some heads come off, and disembowelings, and all that sort of shit.
the good stuff.
All the good stuff. Anything you want, and it's like, yeah, okay, cool. It's like they have nothing to do with the plot or anything like that.
Doesn't matter.
Just a good scene.
I also wanted to say the acting is quote unquote really,
Justin are
really
looking at one
bad,
another.
but it's really good. Like it's
entertaining.
Committed.
It's varying levels of awkward performances, but it makes it really entertaining to watch. And I honestly think the best actor in it is Len. I think he's selling it.
He's got
most.
some cool quips. You know what
well,
I mean?
he gave himself all the best lines.
Yeah. I'm the director, writer, and
It's true.
star.
I mean, we talked about the crazy Shakespearean guy who's like, Dakota, you must come back to the pack and join
Shakespeare
us. I know, but it's just compared to
Romeo and Juliet.
he was making a meal
else.
of those words.
yeah, but I mean, then there's like that old couple at the beginning that was again, it was like a cartoony performance, but it's always fun, and also Dakota herself doing her best, but yeah.
God bless her.
The one bad thing about this movie is that the quality is not the best.
The video
There's a
quality,
picture
yeah.
I mean, this is 2007. They probably shot on the mini DV camera that I had at home.
But
Yeah.
it looks much worse than that. I mean, like
probably the transfer and when
Yeah.
it got put the DVD, they probably did like an auto convert to like MPEG 2,
It's
so it's
possible,
blocky
but-
and it's so dark.
We watched it on YouTube, April and I, but it was from the official.
It's
distribution
on an
website?
official
No.
site.
Kings of Horror, which
yeah.
also carries Teddy Bomb.
What?
They did.
Really?
They did not get my permission for this one. But
Oh, so it's not necessarily legit. If
no,
it's on
it
Kings
is
of
because the
Horror?
person who had the rights to the movie I directed, Teddy Bomb, sold it to them without my permission.
God's
Oh.
sake.
And now I'm a millionaire. No, that's a lie. I saw $0 from
Oh,
it.
fantastic.
Well, River Beast is also on that channel. But word on the street is that Curse of the Wolf is on Amazon Prime in the U.S.
Oh, watch it there because then
Yeah.
Len will get money.
if it is
Yeah.
any consolation to you, Justin, April and I both enjoyed Teddy Bomb when we watched it for free on YouTube.
No!
No, we saw that shit in the theater.
Yeah,
that's
where it's
right.
meant to be seen. IMAX.
I can't believe you got those cameras for.
I know, yeah. On film,
around.
too.
It's amazing. Did you borrow them from Christopher
Nolan. We stole them after he finished Dunkirk by Teddy Bomb at www.teddybomb.com on Blu-ray.
You're not, this is
10 commentary tracks.
This
10.
this podcast does not exist for you to shill your wares.
That's
sir.
exactly why it exists. No such thing as a bad movie directed by Justin DeClue.
This was all a ruse.
Yeah, the long con.
That'd be so funny.
Speaking of long cons, listen, I'm struggling for a transitional point
The
here.
longest con of all, an American Werewolf series. Yes,
my God.
it's a
Series?
series now.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
2 movies.
Well, they're doing a remake of the first one.
Directed by Max Landis.
Well,
We'll see if
we'll see about that.
Let me just say that the new movie he just made, that he wrote, has been made. And
Really?
it's- Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
so he's
so-
still in the biz.
Yeah,
Okay.
still
Did he
in the biz.
did he change his name?
Yeah, to Brett Landis. I am unrelated to the Max that you speak of. All right, American Werewolf in London.
Max
you like it,
Ratner.
guys?
I haven't seen that since I was in high school, and I remember like thinking it was fine. I wasn't like crazy about it though, like some
Yeah,
people.
I quite enjoyed it. Again, it's not like I guess it's a classic. It has some great scenes and sequences. Not something I've rewatched a lot over the years, or that I'm like really, really passionate about.
But both of you are very passionate about American Werewolf in Paris.
Oh, how can you not? It
I
was
just
like,
realized, is that a joke on
An American in Paris.
An American in Paris,
Yeah.
which is,
Yes.
I believe, a musical, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
With
Well,
Gene
that's
Kelly.
hilarious because this whole movie is one
Academy
big joke.
Award-winning musical in American in Paris.
Wow.
I
Okay.
think it won Best Picture, didn't it?
you know what didn't win Best Picture?
American Werewolf in Paris.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or Best
I mean,
Visual
it got
Effects.
nominated for Best Visual Effects.
No, that is a lie.
For people that don't know what this movie is, it came out in 1997. It's a sequel to the John Landis original, which came out in 81.
Something like that. Yeah.
And it's only famous for having terrible visual effects.
Yeah, now let me go back in time to I think probably in 1996. So every year there's a computer graphics.
Wait, let me set the scene. So we're transitioning to Colin sitting in his office. Never knock on wood.
Listen to the bass tones.
Yeah, ska cap on.
I know, I've got-
skanking.
I've got the leather tie with the piano keys down. I'm wearing my little pork pie hat.
You're drinking your high C ecto cooler, I guess, because that's still around. You're dunking your fruit by the foot, and you got like the bubble gum by the foot.
Wait, did
by
I
the
show you
foot.
pictures of my office?
And bubble tape.
This is
Bubble
crazy.
tape. That's what it's called. That still exists.
Oh yeah.
Probably,
It's still
yeah.
around.
That was a big. And he's slamming paws.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I miss Paul.
Grasshopper. He catches the metal slammers and he gets to go again.
I'm tearing
All
up.
right.
You're bringing me right back. Just reliving the good times.
It's like, in search of lost time. All right. So what happened?
What happened?
Well, basically, there's a computer graphics conference that happens every year. It's called CGraph, and it's basically the entire visual effects and computer graphics industry go to this thing. It's usually
I'm guessing it stands for computer graphics.
yeah, it's something like something graphics. So whatever, who cares? But it's basically like all the big effects companies go every year. It rotates. Sometimes it's at the LA Convention Center. I've been to it when it was in New Orleans. Blah 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 blah. But all the big effects companies and all the big computer graphics companies, like say. Maya or Alias Wavefront, ILM,
Yeah.
will all have booths on the floor. Yeah, it was Santa Barbara Studios did the visual effects for this. And so I remember walking around the floor at the time, and you'd go by all the 3D packages that would have their demo reels of all the new effects that are their software's being used for. And
So
then
did you have like you're in your section and you're like, look at Spawn,
we'd like
look
walk
at his
by,
cape.
and it was like, whoa! Here, there's like the American Werewolf in Paris. They're playing like the trailer and like some of the VFX shots from it, and everyone would be gathered around looking at the.
And you like start the 60 millimeter projector.
No, it was just on a TV. It was like on VHS or something.
VHS.
And at the time, I remember this looked terrible, and everybody.
Why did it look terrible?
It's just we weren't there yet, and like this was one of the first movies I think to use like CG hair, like fur, and also one of the werewolf comes out of the water at one point and it's shaking all this water off and stuff like that. It just looks really bad, and we weren't there at the time as far as CG hair goes.
Just like stop motion, it's aged like a fine wine.
It's just terrible. But like you think about this is 1997. This came out 4 years after Jurassic Park.
Oh my god!
And it isn't just the hair; it's just everything about these creatures is horrible.
It's not just the creatures. The whole movie is full of bad CGI. The bungee jumping scenes.
Wait, what's
Yeah.
the plot of the movie, April?
Well, okay. It's kind of funny because it's kind of like two movies. It starts off as this like sex comedy kind of about these three bros who are
A Euro trip, if
yeah,
you will.
they're on a Euro trip. They're going to Paris to get laid, and the first stop, the Eiffel Tower, to go bungee jumping, which is because it's the 90s, so they're also into extreme sports.
When was the last time that you saw characters that were this unlikable, like as the protagonist?
Yeah, it's
of
been a
your
long
movie?
time. It's like
Biodome.
not one of them.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro?
Oh, I was just hoping they all fell off and died.
Yeah, so he meets the Before Sunset lady,
Julie Delpy.
Yeah, and she jumps off the CN Tower.
Big
and-
trailer
No,
moment.
it's the
Whatever.
Tower.
Eiffel Tower.
We're going on a Euro trip to Toronto, Canada.
That'd be funny.
Sign
It's
me
like
up.
they jump off the Eiffel Tower, and all of a sudden it's just the
CN
CN Tower.
Tower.
It's like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, did he shoot this
It
in
looked like
Toronto?
it exploded in the trailer, but they just jump off of it. Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Oh
reference.
God!
So he bungee jumps off and saves her, and then it's about him trying to bang her. And then there's these like wacky hijinks that happen.
Oh, how wacky is this film?
It is obnoxious. The
Yeah.
level of wackiness.
Even when it gets more serious, it's still like they're always making jokes, and there's this like cartoony music.
yeah,
and
it's real Guardians of the Galaxy too, right, guys?
no.
The only thing it's missing
no.
is like sound effects.
I
like,
mean, the music is there.
I don't know if
Yeah.
it certainly is. It's like it's so there. It's like drowning everything else out. I don't know if it was just a mix.
But it was so bombastic in and of
Everything.
itself. It's like,
yeah, and it's like nothing. It just doesn't stop. It's like there's
endless.
there's no
Yeah.
quiet moments in this movie.
That's the issue.
There's a moment where the protagonist of this movie, played by Tom Everett Scott, who was also seen in April.
That thing you do.
You doing
do
that thing you do.
Okay, you're all. I've never seen
Breaks
that
my
movie.
heart into
To
a million pieces. I can't believe I remember
Oh
that.
my God,
I haven't
you gotta
seen
take
that
this
since
show
I
on
was
the
a child.
road.
Yeah.
He plays the main guy, gets bit by a werewolf, and he transforms into a werewolf. And there's this sequence where he's like reacting to his powers like he's Spider-Man. And it was so
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Oh God!
We were like, oh,
God.
this is
What, the
awful.
scene in the restaurant is what
Yeah.
you're talking about? Yeah, because there's like a couple of scenes, and he's like sniffing girls' butts, and
Yeah, he's
and they went like
He's
the
the
cat.
real Rob Schneider, the animal.
No, they went like the Catwoman route, where he's like a human acting like a dog.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And it's
There
like,
was that
is
kind of
that what a
vibe.
werewolf
Except
is?
it's all shot in like super wide angle lenses, like just pushed right up to people's faces. It's
I think
just-
the comparisons we made was like Son of Mask.
and like a bit of Terry Gilliam in there.
Yeah,
There-
Terry Gilliam, like 12 Monkeys. I don't want to
Yeah.
say Son of Mask too many times because it's like Candyman.
Oh,
Jamie
man.
Kennedy will come bursting through the window. You guys don't watch Son of Mask?
His friend looked like Jamie Kennedy. I know it wasn't him. It was the guy from Rat Race, but he had a whole Jamie Kennedy thing.
I like
going
how you
on.
say the guy from Rat Race. Like people are like, yes,
Oh,
the
Rat
guy
Race.
from Rat Race.
Try and figure out who is a. I think you'll be
John
pleasantly
Lovitz. Wait, was it
Wait, was
surprised.
a rat race like that? It's a mad world.
Yeah,
type
yeah,
thing.
yeah. But it's a better
remake.
version.
It's a
With, like,
remake.
Cuba Gooding
it's a
and
remake.
like
John
John Cleese.
Mr. Bean, but
Cleese.
he's not Mr. Bean.
Dave Thomas. Wayne
Thomas was
Wayne
in Rat
Knight.
Race?
Yeah, he played the butler. Wayne Knight is
Was
in
Whoopi
it.
Goldberg in it?
Yeah, Whoopi Goldberg.
I just made that up. I didn't know she was in it.
Yeah, she's
It was
in
the
it.
last film directed by Jim Abrahams, the director
really?
of Hot Shots 1 and 2.
Oh my God.
And he worked on all the Zaz movies.
Yeah.
Let's have a moment of silence.
He was the A in Zaz.
Yeah, he was.
Which one of them is like some crazy right wing?
David Zucker is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jerry Zucker is the one who directed Ghost.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The legitimate one.
Zuckers.
And the Farley brothers now have an Oscar. So that's where we are with our
Just one of
comedy
them.
duos. But
Did you see? Sorry.
what?
He brought up the Farrelly brothers. I was laughing because which one directed it? Was it Peter?
Peter Farley directed.
Directed Green Book, and I guess like he knew like the Oscars were coming up, so he had to do his like apology round
Tour, yes.
Apology
So
tour.
in case it came out after the fact that he used to whip his dick out on set on his movies. Yeah, this was in I think Variety or something.
Wait. One of the Farley brothers did this?
Yes. So
Fairly.
Fairly. Farley, get away from me.
he was known on set as Joker. He would just like whip his dick out of his pants and like put it on people's shoulders. And,
Oh,
like,
wow,
touch
that's
people.
hilarious. The person in power is putting their dick on your shoulder.
Yeah,
and you
so
can't do anything.
yeah, and he did to, like Cameron Diaz and all this sort of stuff.
He
So
did it to women.
yeah, so he had to apologize before the Oscars.
I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was like he was sort of getting ahead of the story in case it came out.
Well,
Not
thanks
that
for
it matters.
putting the podcast down.
And
Sorry.
now he has
Now he's got an Oscar.
Oscar.
Don't worry, I could turn things around because I'm walking on the sun.
Oh,
they have
Speaking of
Smash
Rat
Mouth.
Race, which ends at a Smash Mouth concert.
Does it
That's
really?
right. Oh, yeah.
Wait, you didn't know Rat Race? Yeah, Rat Race
We're
ends with
watching
everybody
Rat Race.
crashing on the stage of Smash Mouth.
no.
And then they say, you raised all the money. No. They donate their money to charity.
Yeah,
Because
they have to
Smash
get-
Mouth
they
is
have
doing a charity concert.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Smash Mouth at this time, I assume the biggest band in the world was their Mystery Men money and their
Yeah.
Shrek money.
Oh no.
They probably were at one point the biggest
American
band in the
Werewolf
world.
in Paris money.
Yeah, so they're on the soundtrack. This movie, and this is gonna have to be my favorite thing, is the soundtrack.
You're stealing it from me.
Sorry, I'm going for it. This has such a good like '90s alternative soundtrack.
Does it? Because it all kind of sounds the same.
No,
certainly
there's
dated.
there's the metal songs. There's the more kind of like alternative songs. There's the smash. So there's pop.
It's a Smash Mouth.
There's smash. It has a Bush song. in
Anybody
it.
could make like a, you know how like in Maximum Overdrive that Stephen King did an all AC/DC?
You could do an all Smash Mouth, but it would be like original song.
I was gonna say, or it's just covers of All Star and Walking on the Sun.
No,
The
they
director's
should do
like,
that.
do they have other songs?
And what movie
like
should
the
it be?
reggae version
It should
of-
be like the Guy Fieri biopic, you know,
Oh yeah.
and all Smash Mouth
Oh
soundtrack.
man.
Yeah, and the guy from Smash Mouth plays Guy Fieri.
Yeah,
Guy Fieri.
they're friends in real life. I saw a picture
Wait,
of them on Twitter.
They look identical.
Didn't you guys read the article about the guy that did a Twitter like joke post that he's like, if I get enough likes, Smash Mouth will eat like 50 eggs for charity? And then he did.
And then they did.
Yeah, and it's like a big event that happened, and the guy was like, it was so sad. Like, it was just the lead singer of Smash Mouth putting like
Just eating
hard-boiled eggs in his
Oh,
mouth,
no.
and it was just too many of them.
That guy, the lead singer, would always get in fights with people on Twitter. Like anytime
always.
somebody, I don't know if they just like searches his name or Smash Mouth or whatever. Like anybody slams Smash Mouth or anything, he is right there to like argue
He has
with
like a
them.
Google alert. He's
It's like,
we were
fuck
number
you.
one.
We were number one. We had like 3 number 1 songs and blah blah blah. What have you done, bro?
I think the good thing about the guy from
You're
Smash
an
Mouth
all-star.
is that he always kind of looked lame. Like,
Yeah,
even in,
he's like the guy at a bro party. You
yeah.
don't want to
never
hang
like
out
kind
with.
of balding.
Where-
his
where-
hair is gelled up so you don't see his widow's
It's always
peak.
it's always dyed, and he's
Yeah.
wearing those like the
Sunglasses.
the checkered Vans.
And shirts with flames on them.
Yeah, yeah,
Unlike Guy Fieri.
Just like Guy Fieri.
And now it's like 2001, and he still dresses that way.
Can I tell
like
a story?
bowling shirts.
Yeah, is it like a secret Smash Mouth? Did you
It's a
used to-
Smash Mouth story.
Okay.
So like I remember
I mean, Smash Mouth stories are great on Smash.
I can't remember what it was like 1999 or 2000 whenever their first album came out.
Yeah.
The first album was like "Fush You Man" or whatever.
You're like, I gotta get it on vinyl.
No, I went to the store. I went to HMV and I bought it. I bought the CD and I'm like, wow, that song, like "Walking on the Sun," that's gotta be awesome. All the other songs have to be awesome on this album. So I bought it like sight unseen. I didn't even
On
like.
cassette, I assume.
No, on CD.
Okay.
And I brought it back to work and then I started listening to it and I just. I just realized, like, I've made a terrible
I
mistake.
assume it's like that scene in The Sixth Sense where the guy's watching the videotape. He's like smiling because he hears like Walking on the Sun, and as the rest of the record plays, his like face is just falling.
Yes.
Someone should do a YouTube edit of that. And you just hear the sound like.
I made the worst mistake.
Hey.
And I'm like, I can't bring this back to HMV and ask for a refund.
Hey, man, I bought a New Radicals CD in the 90s, so we all make mistakes.
Who's New Radicals?
They did Don't Give Up. You gotta get what you give.
Wait, who sang that song? Bloodhound Gang? Because I know.
Oh,
No,
God.
that's the band, the Bloodhound Gang.
Oh, is it?
The song is called The Bad Touch.
Yeah, I had that tape.
Oh, God almighty.
tape.
I don't know what tape it was, but it had that song on it.
Speaking of the Farrelly brothers, Smash Mouth did a song on the Me, Myself, and Irene soundtrack.
Did they?
That
What
wasn't
was
that.
it Walking on the Sun or All Star?
It was a
No,
cover.
it's the Neil Diamond one that they do.
It was a
And
cover.
then I saw her face. Now
Oh,
I'm
that's
a
what it was.
believer.
That's
Now
not-
I'm a believer. Yeah, I think that's
That's from
what
Shrek.
it was.
That's not the one that I'm talking about, but
Okay.
that song was in Shrek. I'm a
right.
believer. No, there's a song. It's like we're going back, Jack. Do it again.
Oh, yeah. Oh, fun.
Just spin round and round. It's a cover of somebody who's an actual artist.
How did
Anyway,
Smash Mouth have
an actual artist.
Yeah.
as opposed to
as opposed to a
a
Smash Mouth.
ghost? Wait, is what? How did Smash Mouth become like the go-to cover guy?
I don't
Because they
know.
can't
Brings
do
his
their own
flavor
songs.
to this music.
knows?
It's true. They have a very distinctive sound.
Flavor
It's
town,
the-
if
the-
you will.
It's
Yeah.
like, late 90s, early 2000s California ska pop or whatever.
Ska pop. Real big fish.
Yeah, it
Last
was.
scene
It was
in
ska-
basketball.
Ska-ish.
Oh, God.
Scottish.
Ska-
That's not what ska means.
Ska-ish.
Ska-ish.
Oh wait,
man.
someone Scottish is coming. Hello.
Bob Hoskins.
All right, wait. I have to pick something that I
Oh,
liked
man.
about American Werewolf.
We're
in
just
Paris.
skimming over this. We're not even talking
Guys,
about this movie.
I actually really liked this movie. It was obnoxious, but
Whoa,
it was
whoa,
funny.
What is this twist?
It was really funny, and I feel like it's an undiscovered bad movie classic.
Oh, were you watching it?
What?
Like
Yes.
scenes would pass, and we'd be like, and April would be like, "Hey, did they just bungee jump?"
Hey,
And
no,
we're
are they
like,
in Paris?
Yeah, and it's sort of like we're 30 minutes into the movie.
Okay, this
April.
is just like that time when I watched Jurassic World 2 and I was really tired and I really liked it. And so
Wait,
it might
wait,
have
did-
something to do with my mood.
Did you have a double nightmare like that happens in this movie where
Yeah.
you're watching, you're like American Werewolf in Paris, here we go, and you fell asleep and you dreamed a better movie?
And then
then I
Julie
woke
Delpy
up.
was like getting her boobs out.
Yeah.
which happens in this film.
She is slumming it in this movie. You're better than this, Julie Delpy.
Listen, people have bills to pay.
Yeah, it's true.
She's not even good in it though.
No, she's not.
It's like she's
No,
not. Maybe she's not
April's
trying.
like, is she
Yeah.
French?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, she. So
We're
that's
like,
a.
"Yeah,
So that's a real accent.
I've never seen her in anything. I don't think so.
Before Sunrise.
But what else has she been in other than that? Those movies.
Before.
She's in Avengers: Age of Ultron in one scene.
Whoa,
No, she's
okay.
not.
Yeah, she is. In the flashback that the Black Widow has, she's the Black Widow's teacher.
Get out of town. Are you
Yep.
serious?
Listen, people have bills to pay.
Speaking of slumming
the
it.
residuals of American Werewolf in Paris are not paying that summer home off.
I wonder
anymore.
if she's going to
Yeah.
be in the
No,
if
no,
they do
no,
a
she's not.
if they do a Black Widow like spin-off or
Oh,
something.
I don't know. Maybe she needs to buy another cottage. I guess.
I've been waiting for a Black Widow spinoff for years.
Well, they're making one. It's on the schedule.
Okay,
Apparently.
good.
So my favorite part is the grains of sand of practical effects that you get in this movie.
The odd grain of
Yeah,
sand.
because there are some werewolves kind of like heads moving around and stuff
Yeah,
like that. You know what? No, my favorite part is the werewolf design. And this is kind of breaking the rules of this podcast, but it is a choice.
You're dunking on the design.
I had to do a straight face.
This
like,
is-
no, my favorite part was the practical effects because there are like some like the werewolf heads like ripping people's throats
Yeah,
out.
they're few and far between though,
They are.
which I
But they weren't shot to focus on the practical effects.
No,
'cause they're
no.
done in wides. It's definitely a VFX person was like, oh yeah, we can do that. And the director's like, okay, if you say you can.
yeah
and they didn't know until way later that they
it
made a
is
huge
so
mistake.
bad.
The werewolves are so bald.
I have a feeling it's just one of those things. It's kind of like they're bald from some angles or something. It's like I have a feeling they're just like, we can't render this many hairs, so we have to make them kind of like threadbare. So
Yeah.
they're mostly just sort of skin with like I don't know, this haze of fur over them. It's very weird.
There was a big perspective issues with these werewolves where they never looked like they were in the scene that they were in.
Well, it was basically...
Well, they have no shadows.
The lighting on them was so bad, and there was no interaction between them and the ground at all. So there's no contact shadows, no cast shadows from anything. So they just looked like they were hovering over the ground. The animation was just terrible.
Especially when two of them were fighting.
Oh, I was laughing my ass off.
That was by far the worst.
Yeah, they were kind of rolling around.
Like bald.
These two bald, like skin-looking things, like scrotums, like kind of rolling around. It's like, oh, it was just terrible. Really bad.
But there were like some practical effects in this that were good. Like remember, much like the first movie, there are ghosts that come back. Not exactly ghosts, but the main character kills these people. One's his best friend, and one's this woman that he meets, Julie Bowen from Modern Family. Bowen?
The worst performer in this film.
Well,
what is she doing?
She's trying, but she goes like way over the top. But anyway, the like makeup because they're all like shredded up and stuff.
Yeah, and they kind of rot as the movie goes.
And I thought that looked actually really good. There's this scene where she blows her eye out. That came out wrong.
Oh, and then she's like, no, she's trying to whistle or something.
Her eye out.
And then her eyeball like pops out, which is kind of funny.
I mean, but all the dead like frighteners like appearances in this film, they make no sense compared to what happened before.
Yeah.
Now if you just kill the werewolf, they're fine. They disappear.
Yeah, they disappear like Thanos' victims at the end of Infinity War. It's true. It's like the same effect.
And if you also kill the werewolf that made you and eat its heart, you're fine.
Yeah, so Julie Delpy, I guess, bites the lead guy, and that's her thing at the end of the movie. She's like, kill me and cut my heart out, and then eat me, and you'll be lifted of the curse of the wolf. And he
is like, I can't do it. Wolf. But like, our lead character, he's like spineless, and he has like no... He has...
Even after like almost like killing... his love, I guess, and he's such like a dum-dum. She's like, kill me, and he's like, I don't know if I can do it, and then he runs away and like slips on a banana peel, I guess.
Yeah, and he's like,
slides
idiot.
down. Yeah, but it's like the cops are chasing him, and he's about to kill Julie Delpy, and he's like, I gotta go. They'll take care of you. Bye. And then yeah, he ends up being chased by like another werewolf, which gets immediately hit by a train, and that's it.
Yeah, which turns out to be the king werewolf, who actually is the one that bit our Julie Delpy, or at least that's implied.
That's right, because he sees the wound from the spike that he impaled him with earlier.
Yeah, so at the end,
there's a big fight
good.
On a train.
Yeah, and that didn't look so hot.
Yeah, so this is mostly the werewolves are kind of in these catacombs and.
They're not in shadows.
They're not
like
in shadow. Yeah, there are no shadows on these werewolves.
That's the issue. If they had made it darker and moodier and showed less of them, it would have been way more effective. But it's just right there, and it's like it's like reboot level animation at times.
Yeah, even for this time, this was really, really, really bad. And little bit of trivia about these werewolves: they were done by Santa Barbara Studios. And so I worked on the movie Spawn, and I think, Justin, I was telling you this earlier. Mm-hmm. But, the best part about Spawn, I think we can all agree that it was the devil at the end, Malboja, or whatever his name was.
Big old close-up in the movie.
Yeah.
The fakest looking CGI.
He's talking to Spawn. So basically, Spawn, that Malboja demon, was actually supposed to be a practical puppet, and I was showing you a picture of that earlier. And I guess for some reason the puppet didn't look good or whatever, so they decided, like, with 2 weeks to go before Spawn was released, that they were going to redo this character with CG.
Totally CGI.
Totally CGI. They had no time and no money, so they went. I guess the producer Clint knew somebody at Santa Barbara Studios, and they're like, "Hey, we're just finished, or we're working on this American Werewolf in Paris." So they took the model of the werewolf and just sort of like. Pushed and pulled it and scrunched it up and basically reused it for that demon. So that demon you see is...
I thought you were saying it was the other way around.
Yeah, I thought it was the other way around. They used the demon to make the werewolf.
No.
I was like, that's like taking a turd
and making a worse turd.
Just shitting on it again.
Yeah. No, so that demon, basically that demon in Spawn was, just like a werewolf from this movie that they kind of like pushed and pulled to change it a bit, and it was
you
all
go.
done for free on weekends in like a couple of weeks.
Just like as a favor.
As a
or,
favor,
like-
and basically we were at the premiere and met the producer, and he's like, we didn't know until like a day ago if we were even going to have a hell sequence in this movie.
So something that was reused from something else
Yeah.
that was done over in the weekends as a favor became on the cover of Cinefix magazine.
Yeah, on Cinefex.
Cinefex.
I don't know the number, but you can look it up. It is
Not the werewolf. I feel like American Werewolf in Paris would have probably made the cover of Cinefex as well.
I wonder.
Well, that looked better, even though it's still terrible. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, it is probably, if you ask anybody about Cinefex, this is like an industry magazine where, they show the before and afters and kind of go through the making of all these big movies. That is probably, without a doubt, the worst cover.
I mean, could you have a worse cover than that?
No.
It's like the worst CG effect.
It is the worst.
How could anybody look at that and go, let's put that on the cover? Wouldn't you put like any of the practical effects
It doesn't
in
even
Spawn?
like Violator or
Yeah.
anything. Like, the
Yeah.
stuff that was done by ILM that
was it
actually
like
looks
someone
good?
that was quitting that's like, just put it on the cover?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Somebody wanted to screw somebody else.
I wonder if they
Yeah.
had just like set it aside. All right, we're going to put the demon from Spawn on the cover, and they probably meant the Violator, and then somebody picked this demon and like, here you go,
they put it
boss.
away like, this is the one photo we don't want to use. And then it like makes it on the cover.
Or maybe it was a joke and it got sent to the wrong person, and then it's already printed.
Yeah, it doesn't even hold up at print res. You can see its hair is all pixelated, and it looks so bad. You can just Google it.
Wait,
It's
wait.
really
So
funny.
what's your favorite part of American Werewolf in Paris?
Oh, Jesus.
There's got to be something.
Well,
Gotta be
okay.
something.
There's a couple little just absurd scenes. So the first time he goes to meet Julie Delpy, he kind of catches her jumping off the Eiffel Tower, and her shoe comes off. So he's like kind of spends like 30 minutes of the movie trying to get the shoe back, stalking her and trying to get her shoe back. So he meets her in a cafe. And his friends are kind of at another table hiding behind menus, waiting.
Because it's wacky.
He's like, you're going to get laid, bro.
Wacky hijinks.
So she's like, are you trying to like bone me? And he's like, no. And then he pulls something out of his shirt and all these condoms like fly out all over the table. And then he's like, oh, it's just bubble gum. And he starts eating one of the condoms.
Yeah.
And then she goes,
classic.
why don't you blow a big bubble for me? It's a custom in Paris. If you're trying to impress the girl, you blow the biggest bubble that you can.
Julie Delpy in this movie goes from being like sarcastic and smart to like really dumb.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
from scene to scene.
Yeah, and so he starts blowing this bubble of the condom, and then he blows it up, and then lets it go, and it just sort of goes
In a
and
CG
shoots.
effect.
CG effect. It was actually pretty well animated, and it kind of lands in a guy's bowl in the background.
Oh,
It turns into a cartoon.
Yeah, and then there is one other thing when he wakes up in Julie Delpy's house. I think at one point after he's been bitten, and he meets Julie Delpy's mom, which is like a rotting corpse. His reaction is to jump out of a window. It's like on the second floor of this gigantic house, and he smashes right through this window. They pull the old Texas switch. He falls in the background. He gets up from behind a bush and runs away.
Yeah,
It's
great
like,
stuff.
It's like you'd be dead.
Oh, I didn't understand what you were saying that was. But
It's when like
it's a stunt man, right?
falls,
Yeah.
and then like the actor will jump out from behind something to make it look like that he's
It's
the one
one
who did it.
continuous
Yeah.
move.
Well, I'm calling it right now. It's always funny when a character jumps through a window. Hereditary, funny.
I haven't seen Hereditary.
Oh, well,
Too spooky.
it involves a character jumping out a window at one point, and it's hilarious. But also scary. It's at the very end. Come on. He sees something, and then
Spoiler.
he jumps out the window.
Oh.
Well, y'all who've seen Hereditary know what I'm talking
Y'all.
about.
We just did the Texas switch right there.
Yeah, y'all know what I'm talking about. Also, the very end of this movie, it ends in
I'm
the
walking
cheesiest,
on the
the
side.
cheesiest way possible. Where because it it starts to fade out, and I'm like, oh my god, and then it says many full moons later, and then I'm like, it's gonna be them getting married, and it is, and they're on the top of a building.
What do you don't know?
And then they're like, someone's coming, get the ring, because the surviving friend has the ring, and then it falls over the edge, and they're like, no. So they jump, and they're bungee jumping on the
Statue of
Liberty. Should have been the CN Tower, right?
Man, not in a post 9/11 world.
Oh, no.
But it looks this looks worse than the wolves.
This was hilarious. No, I don't know
I
about
don't know about that. The wolves
But
look real bad.
This
think it's
looks.
worse.
This is funny. This is like I was laughing quite a bit at this scene. It's just ridiculous.
It was a hilarious way to end it.
It's such like a. No one in the audience could be like, yeah.
And then what is it? As soon as it cut to credits, you were fist pumping and going, yeah. And then the first credit is like visual effects by Santa Barbara Studios.
We know,
and then just everybody going, boo.
As annoying as this movie can be, I enjoyed it as a bit of a time capsule to the 90s, the late 90s.
Oh,
because
man, is it
that
ever.
style is all over this movie.
Yeah.
It's like a music video at times.
Yeah.
It uses like, like the slow motion, that's the slow frame rate.
Yeah.
Why watch
the
this
lenses.
movie when you could watch Idle Hands instead?
Yes, it's very similar to Idle Hands, and I was gonna say, like, yes, the original American Werewolf in London was kind of a comedy. It had a comedic element to it, but this is like way more, right?
Oh,
the word we're looking for is broad.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
And also
very broad.
lame.
And it's like, again, it's like, who is this for? They're trying to, is it like, we got to get these new kids into this werewolf story?
Yeah,
I
it's
guess.
geared towards like a teen audience at the time, and it's like, let's put
Yeah.
everything that's cool in this one movie.
100%. That's
Yeah,
what
and
it is.
it's just so fucking awful. And I don't think the director even went on to do much.
No,
after
the
this.
director, he made a movie like 2 years later, and then
Yeah.
it was like 8 years until he made a movie,
Yeah.
and he hasn't done anything since then.
It's not
Thrown
good.
in director jail, even
Yeah.
though that his previous film, Mute Witness, which was an indie that he made, is actually pretty fun.
That's pretty good. Yeah, I like
So
that.
check it out.
Check that out. Not this.
Yeah, this movie,
A bad movie classic, I think, left your lips.
okay, not an maybe not an undiscovered.
Oh, she's backpedaling
classic.
now.
No, but I feel like no one's talking. I feel like the world forgot about this movie.
As they should.
I did. I brought it to the table for this episode.
Well, we couldn't even rent it off iTunes, so I assume you can buy it on DVD. I don't think it got
You
a
can
Blu-ray.
definitely buy it on DVD, and I can imagine the case too. It has like that purple thing on the top of it that like DVDs used to have.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I hope it has commentary with the director.
No, I'm guessing it has like a bare bones.
It's probably just
DVD
one commentary track
release.
from the effects guys. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
We built 7 exoskeleton models for this bad boy.
But like
We had like
you know,
6 CG hairs on each werewolf.
I don't know if I could say like, yeah, buy it off Amazon. But if this
just
happens
did.
to be, if this is
Cut
like
it, put it.
if this is on a streaming service that you have and you're curious, I would recommend it as an anomaly of the time. And it was funny. I thought it was funny.
I did not laugh once.
I
grimaced a lot.
I laughed, but not with it.
you know what? When the Texas
Yeah,
Switch
at
happened,
it.
I was happy.
That was pretty funny, and
Y'all?
the scene with the Gundam and the bungee jump wedding at the end. I got a lot
Yeah.
of laughs.
Nothing
All
werewolf related.
great.
Nothing werewolf related. Well, werewolves aren't funny.
No,
They're a real danger.
See, I wonder how many CGI artists were sent to an early grave because of all the overtime they put into this movie working
yeah,
on
that's
these.
sad.
The
But
crunch time.
we also mentioned earlier Curse the Wolf on Amazon Prime. And you can also apparently rent or buy it from Len's website, right? Did we say that?
yeah, that's right. We went to it's like Killer Wolf Films.
Killer Wolf Films.
I
That's
saw you
right.
could like buy or rent it in HD. I don't know how
What it would look like in HD.
if it's going to be much
I
better.
should watch
but-
it that way. All right. So I guess this makes it for our Wolf-tacular episode.
And as we said, there are so many low-budget werewolf movies out there, so I think we should do one every month.
Like and Colony.
Every month.
Well, we've been
episode every month.
we've been waiting on Lichen Colony because it's not available anywhere.
Oh yeah, but Lichen Colony was just released on Amazon Prime
In the U.S.
In the
So
US.
if you have Amazon Prime US,
You gotta watch
you're
that.
so
you
lucky
guys.
you have
and
to
by
watch
you
that
guys,
movie.
I mean I'm talking to you, the audience.
Well, I mean, we could always watch Eyes of the Werewolf, where a guy gets an operation and gets werewolfified, which makes him into a werewolf.
That sounds great. Someone mentioned some movie called My Mother's a Werewolf, which is also apparently really bad.
was it a movie or was that person saying that their mother is a werewolf?
Like, my mother is a werewolf.
That sounds like a great movie. It's
One of the Howling movies. There's one where they're
Oh,
at
yeah.
a circus.
I've never seen Howling.
Werewolf in a woman's prison.
There's so many.
Yeah, so many.
Or maybe we'll save it for Halloween.
Yeah.
But
yeah, maybe we'll never do a werewolf film again. We're unpredictable that way.
It's possible. But if you want to donate to our Patreon, we're going to have a draw at the $2 level. You can be submitted to draw to pick a movie, and we're going to be having one within a week from when this drops. So get in on that on the $2 level. And if you want to be on the $5 level, you can get access to our what do you get access
Patreon.
to?
Patreon. You get Patreon episodes.
You get access to our Patreon episodes, which are our mini episodes that come out every 2 weeks. And if you want to, you can email us at nosuchthingasabadmovie@gmail.com, or you can tweet at us at nosuchthingpod. And if you want to tweet me, I'm at April Atmansky. And don't forget to like and subscribe to us on YouTube if you want.
You can follow me on Twitter. It's DeClueJ, DECLOUX. You can follow me on letterboxd.com. My name is just Justin the Clue. And you can listen to me every week on the Important Cinema Club, and that's importantcinemaclub.com.
Always pimping your wares. Mm-hmm. You can follow me on Twitter. I'm Sergeant Zima, SGTZIMA. And on Instagram, I think it's Sergeant Zim, SGTZIM.
And that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us. I'm April Atmansky.
I'm Justin the Clue.
And I'm Colin Trevorrow. Cunningham.
And remember, there's no such thing as a bad movie.
Ow!